Hello, St. Stephen's, and welcome to this week's Fireside Chat. I hope you enjoyed that beautiful Thanksgiving hymn, Now Thank We All Our God, performed by the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. But I can imagine some of you are thinking, Father Dave, why play a Thanksgiving hymn on the Wednesday of Holy Week? Well, I played it because I really believe that having a heart filled with gratitude and thanksgiving can enable us to not just survive, but to actually thrive spiritually during these challenging times. I really believe that the ability to intentionally cultivate an attitude of gratitude can make a huge difference in the way that we navigate the uncharted and sometimes terrifying waters of this current crisis. So today I want to read to you my favorite gospel story about Thanksgiving, gratitude, and then to tell you a little bit about the man who wrote the words to the great Thanksgiving hymn, Now Thank We All Our God. This is a story taken from the 17th chapter of the Gospel of Luke, beginning at verse 11. On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus was going through the region between Samaria and Galilee. As he entered a village, 10 lepers approached him, keeping their distance, social distancing back in the first century. They called out, saying, "Master, Jesus, have mercy on us." When he saw them, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priests." And as they went, they were made clean. Then one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice. He prostrated himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus asked, "Were not 10 made clean? But the other 9, where are they? Was none of them found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" Then he said to the Samaritan, "Get up and go on your way. Your faith has made you well." This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So, in my career, I've preached many, many times on this one wonderful story, usually on either Thanksgiving Eve or Thanksgiving Day. And what has always captured my attention is the profound truth that there's a difference, a really significant difference between being thankful and actually giving thanks. Now, I have to believe that all 10 of those men that were cured of leprosy, which was the AIDS of the first century, they were thankful for their healing. They must have been. They couldn't have helped but be thankful. And yet only one took the time and made the effort to return and actually give thanks to the one that was responsible for his healing. And that one was a Samaritan, a foreigner. He wasn't a Jew. He was an outcast. And he was the only one that was privileged to hear Jesus say to him personally, "Get up and go on your way. Your faith has saved you. Your faith has made you well." I want to close this week's Fireside Chat by telling you a little bit about the man that wrote the words to that wonderful Thanksgiving hymn, Now Thank We All Our God. His name was Martin Rinkard, and he was a Lutheran pastor. He served a parish in Eilenburg, Germany. And in the year 1637, Eilenburg experienced a devastating plague, not unlike what we're experiencing now with the coronavirus. And in the course of a year, 8,000 citizens of Eilenburg died, including many of Rinkard's clergy colleagues, most of the town council, and his own wife. And in the end, he was left alone to minister to the entire city. All of his clergy colleagues had either died or had left the city. And some weeks he had as many as 200 funerals. And it was in the midst of that personal suffering, his own personal suffering, and the suffering of his community, that he wrote the words to this great hymn, words which are familiar to many of us. Now thank we all our God with heart and hands and voices, whose wondrous things has done, in whom this world rejoices. My favorite verse is the one which implores God to stay with us, to be with us in our present anxiety. He wrote, "Keep us all in grace, and guide us when perplexed, and free us from all ills in this world and in the next." And that's certainly my prayer as we continue this unfamiliar and at times horrifying journey together. And my pastoral advice to you today is to be intentional about cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Take time every single day to just simply give thanks for the good things that we have, for our families and friends and loved ones, for our church, for the wonders of the marvels of modern technology that enable us to stay connected when we can't be together personally. Do every day take out time to give thanks. And I can tell you, I can guarantee that it will make a huge difference in your life. Before I close, a couple of announcements. I met with the wardens earlier this week, and we decided that this Holy Week we would encourage our parishioners to tune in to services either from the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., or from Trinity Cathedral in Trenton. Now, both places will be having services on Holy Thursday evening and Good Friday. And then we will have our own live stream broadcast from the chapel at St. Stephen's in Beverly on Easter Sunday. Now, you will be receiving a postcard later this week announcing the times and the login information for all of these services. And we certainly encourage everyone to enter into as fully as you possibly can the important events of this Holy Week, Holy Thursday, Good Friday, and Easter Sunday. I also want to tell you that I have been in constant communication with the wardens of the two parishes, and we will be live streaming by Zoom, the Zoom platform, the JAC meeting this coming Wednesday at 7 p.m. So the work of the church continues. It hasn't stopped, we continue. And finally, I'd like you to know that you have been and will continue to be in my thoughts and prayers as we make this journey together. And please don't hesitate to call if you have a pastoral concern or if you just need someone to talk to. So, blessings during this Holy Week and Easter, and we will talk again next week. Until then, be well and stay safe. God bless.